Do you have a 5-year-old who's having trouble sleeping through the night? Watch this video with best-selling author and baby sleep coach Suzy Giordano for tips on how to sleep train your child.
Good to see you. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I think sleep is one of the most important things, I think, in just setting up your child's life. And, I read your book when my own children were younger. And you just have 4 basic principles. And can you tell us about what those 4 principles are?
Yes, that's like the solid foundation, which I found that at any age, you can teach your baby how to be an independent sleeper, get the optimal sleep for whatever age. And those are making sure your baby is healthy, that they can meet your expectations, in an environment conducive to sleep. They are in an emotional place where they can learn. So all those things teaches us what our place is, in the spectrum of teaching them how to sleep through the night and develop good sleeping habits.
How would you describe your parenting philosophy? You said that it all ties in with discipline, nutrition, sleep. How does that all intertwine together?
Parents don't realize how powerful and how impactful their role is, because you're so overwhelmed between the rationale and the emotion of raising a little human, right? Mm-hmm. So if you take the time to understand that your main role is being a role model. So to teach a child to be a good sleeper, try to be a good sleeper. To teach a child how to eat well, try to eat well. To teach a child to be happy, try to be happy. You teach them good sleeping habits. They have the ability to learn. You are empowered by that result. And then that goes into other areas. So if you have a little bit of discipline to take the time to be consistent in enforcing a sleep routine, then you become, I want to say, daring. It's like, I'm going to teach them how to eat a little better. Then when it's time to discipline, which is, for me, is actually listening and practice, where I'm trying to raise a good adult. I think one of the most important lessons you can teach a child is how to be respected. Expect respect. And you do that by respecting them, not to act in a very emotional way, because the message gets lost when you're too emotional.
You talk about up to 7 years old in your book, which I would think if someone has not had those habits for 7 years, can you really change that?
You can. Let me tell the good news. The good news is now they're 7 and they understand, they communicate a little better. So a lot of the guessing game is out of the table. Mm-hmm. Now, chances are 7 years, that child get wherever they are by being able to negotiate whatever they want. Mm-hmm. So it's about training the parents first, and parents understanding if they're willing to put in the work. Your child following the expectations that you put in place. They will push because that's their job. Okay, let me push to make sure you're certain of this. You're solid. And if you maintain, you're consistent with your response, they will turn into themselves to try to figure out how they can do this without you. And that's ultimately what you want. You want their treasure, their strength to come from within them. When they don't have boundaries, they keep pushing every boundary, right. So when you require, for them to behave society environment, they don't, because it's they're very emotionally volatile because that's age related. And then it's you need to eat your broccoli. No, but I want ice cream. So that negotiation, that power that we gave them, it's going to translate, or they have the ripple effect, and it's going to affect every part of their lives, including social relationships, because I can get what I want, but that's a reality that we know you can't sustain, because in real life you can't get what you want all the time. People are going to tell you no. Your boundary ends when somebody else's boundary begins. So either you teach your child that lesson, or life will. Life is not as kind. That is a painful thing for me to see sometimes.
You're one of the few experts that really talk about past age 5 and training a child to sleep at an older age. My daughter's 5, and I can't imagine trying to, quote, train her at 5 because she's got her own personality. So I don't know what you would even...
They do have a personality, but you know that personality. You've been working with them for 5 years. She knows you, but you know them. They have to understand that you are in charge, right? So just so you know. So Suzy, she's going to run out of her room. So you stay by the door, you close the door, and she's going to try to open the door. You hold the door, count to 10. So she understands, oh, she has the strength to hold that door, and then count to 10. So you gather yourself. After that, you go in. It's like, shh. But I understand. Let's go back to bed. And in an older child, you kind of have enough respect for them to say, hey, we're going to learn how to be good sleepers. Okay. So starting tonight, you have to sleep with your friends, and mommy will come back to check on you in 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the first step is, but she's going to run. Oh, yeah, she will. And you'll be ready for that. So then you go back and repeat until she trusts I told you I'll come back in 2 minutes. Stay in bed. So I can come back in 2 minutes. So is that like, so you have to understand your child's personality and how far you can push, and you push an inch beyond what she can do. That between what you know of her and an inch longer, that's the room to grow. That's where you are pushing yourself. Oh my God, I'm really gonna upset her. Mm-hmm. And that is where she's like, oh, that's the new boundary. If you gain from, okay, let's say Suzy, it takes her a minute to get upset. And I said 2 minutes. Okay, so you're gonna wait a minute and a half. Because that 30 seconds that you earn, that you work for it, that's the room to grow. That, once you get there, and how you're going to get there? By being consistent. Once you get to a minute and a half, then you get to 2, 2.5, 3. Why? Because now it's breaking the pattern of behavior. So it's fascinating because once you do, because you are the adult, you have the power. You just have relinquished the power to a little 5-year-old. And now she's like, oh, he's a little Kim Jong-un. She wants to be, oh no, I'm in charge of this family. No, honey, you're not in charge of the family. Oh, yes, I am.
Yeah.
But it's all about, it's like I always tell parents, this is not about breaking their spirit. It's celebrating their spirit. It's celebrating. So when you go in and she's like, Mommy, I understand. This is really hard, but you can do it. You are smart. You are strong. You can, I believe in you. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now go to bed with a friend, Jack, Mary, whatever friends she has with her. Look, you're not alone. You have all your friends, and mommy will come and check on you in a minute. You can do it. I'll be right back. Put her down, go out and hold the door. Look at the camera. A minute and a half. Because what happened is she's going to get tired of that back and forth. And at some point, you're going to prevail. And that's where we want you to be. When parents become sleep deprived, that's when they start taking shortcuts and negotiating. Once their sleep is restored, life is easier to manage. Children's are easier to manage. They're more patient. So if sleep is compromised, everybody suffers.
That's right.
If sleep is restored, everybody benefits. So there's no negotiation in between. Mm-hmm. You're a better parent if more patient, more relatable, a better role model.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing the information in your new book.
Yes, we have a website, thebabycoach.com. We have our Instagram, The Baby Coach Official. And we are on Facebook too. Once everybody gets a good night's rest, then everything else will come along.
That's right.
When everybody's rested and okay, let's work on nutrition. Okay, let's work on discipline. It's like, and everybody will be more willing to comply if they're rested.
That's right. No, I love it. I agree.
Thank you, Kelly. It was so nice talking to you. I greatly appreciate it.
If you know someone who'd be a great fit for the show, come on over to ingeniousbaby.com and share your tips and story ideas. You are your baby's first and best teacher.